I'll start with my counter to the theory that the two heirs are Lumen and Ether.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens. From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis Pearl from the kingdom of darkness. The first crowned heir began her journey of seeking the pearl. But she was deceived, and the memory of her noble origins faded. She now believed that she was the queen of the kingdom of darkness. But take heart. A second crowned heir has already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story of your journey, of your tale to be told.
Here are my reasons with proof. First, the story is interchangeable between the siblings, thanks to player choice. Second, the battle pass says that the first heir was deceived and believed herself to be the queen of the kingdom of darkness, meaning she had her truth rewritten or brainwashed in a sense. Now, how can Lumen be brainwashed while remembering her brother?
Your Highness, our plan to weaponize the dragon has been impeded.
By the Animo Archon. He rises again for the dragon's sake.
No, not the Archon. We were well prepared for his interference. Regrettably, Your Highness, the issue is your brother.
How can she be brainwashed when she remembers their home, their connection?
Home. Yes, of course. Home is wherever we are together. But I cannot go with you to the next world to find a new home. At least, not yet. Until the Abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with destiny will see no end. Listen to me, Lumine. I have already traveled through this world once. Once you reach the end of your journey as I did, you will see for yourself the true nature of this world. So we'll meet again. Though we need not rush, sister. I have more than enough time to wait for you. We have always had enough time.
How can she be brainwashed when she seems genuinely invested in her dealings with Canria and the Abyss Order? She is clear of mind, and her actions are genuine. Lastly, she is clearly referred to as Princess. And I mentioned that the siblings are interchangeable. So how can she be queen when the founder is Clothar, who isn't or was never considered a king witch? If so, this also makes her a consort, which I do not believe her to be. Lumine tells her brother to journey and discover the truth of the world as if she already found it herself, which is likely why she opposes the throne and sides with the Abyss Order. There is no brainwashing necessary when her reasons are justified versus being manipulated. She saw firsthand the destruction of Canria.
One day, this journey will reach its end. But until the Abyss has engulfed the thrones, My war with destiny will see no end.
She would have a motive to take part and challenge the throne. Now, what is the throne, if not a ruler? And what is a ruler if not a king or queen? This leads me to believe the throne to be the first heir and Celestia by association. The first heir being now queen of this kingdom, the sustainer of heavenly principles, and the second who came, the first heir. Before I get into heavy speculation, I want to point out a few things about her that could link her to being otherworldly and by proxy the first heir.
Your path was blocked by some unknown god?
Outlanders, your journey ends here. Who are you? The sustainer of heavenly principles. The arrogation of mankind ends now.
Firstly, she seems to have an affliction on her arm that takes the form as black blocks, possibly related to her power shown when fighting the siblings. She looks similar to the twins with blonde hair and orange eyes. If the first heir wholeheartedly believes herself to be the sustainer, but is an heir to this other kingdom, is that not more manipulative than Lumen's dealings with the Abyss? The first heir being the sustainer from here on out will be heavy speculation, starting with her also being the second who came, which caused Encanamaya. Now in the sun and moon, the first war waged between the seven sovereigns and the primordial one named Phanes and his four shades. They defeated the seven sovereigns. After this, everything was created. Likely before all creation, the Dark Sea was all that existed, and the seven were a part of this old world and the Dark Sea. As it stated, Phanes and one of his shades created the heaven and the earth and everything in between. So it is likely they created this on top of the Dark Sea. It's also very likely that the people of Encanamaya are closer to the seven than the primordial one. Or this symbolizes the flood, and they are the first batch of humans. But one thing of note is that the path to temptation was the only taboo. But that path had been sealed, which could be said as blocked if not impossible. Could this actually be the arrogation of mankind? Only made possible by outlanders, such as the two heirs and the siblings. Anyway, after the year of Jubilee, the first heir came, or simply the second throne of the heavens. After this war was rekindled, which shook the earth with caused Encanamaya to fall into the Dark Sea. What was the cause of the conflict between the primordial one and the second who came? After the fall of Encanamaya, one god did not abandon them. They called her Kairos, or Astarot, but backward, to not say her name, in fear of something likely the primordial one. It is believed that the primordial one defeated the second who came, and due to this, the people of Encanamaya believed themselves to be banished to the Dark Sea, never to find their way above, as if to hide the history of this second war, or to hide that other strong beings exist that can challenge Phanes. But besides Zest, did the second have anything to do with Encanamaya? At the end of Sun and Moon, it is shown that things were withheld. Now besides that, Encanamaya has similarities to Canria, but what not only in being technologically advanced, but having dealings with a descender known as thrones, and what a throne is not royalty. So what if the cataclysm was orchestrated by the second heir? What if the second heir is the sinner? The brother of the first heir, who has been indoctrinated by the throne of heaven. Now I think I got my point across on the first heir, now the second. The sinner and the one who will tie to our journey our tale to be told. See, my child, all that lies under the throne of heaven shall be destroyed by upheaval. The eternal peace of the pitch-dark void shall embrace us all. Now the figure could be Ermin, but the voice could be the one who influenced Ermin. The sinner. What was the cataclysm if not an invasion on Tavit? From the Eclipse dynasty and monsters from the Abyss. If the sinner did influence, This would explain why Dane has a strong disdain for the Abyss Order that follows the ideals of the cause of the Cataclysm. But if our sibling follows the sinner's ideals and is sure the other will understand when they'd reach the truth, then it's likely there's a secret that could only be uncovered firsthand. The sinner and the Abyss. I speculated that the Void Realm is the raw power of all. From that the Light Realm exist. But Tevita impure Realmida issue under the rule of Celestia. Which leads me right back to the Battle Pass. The Kingdom of Darkness is Tevit under Celestia's rule. The Serpent is Phanes the Demiurge. The throne where the Queen rules is where we first meet the Sustainer. The background looks oddly familiar to each other. And take heart a second crowned, ere take up the path where the first stumbled. Their story mirrors ours. Speaking of the siblings, they are homeless, potentially outlaws on the run. Home is them together traveling from world to world. They are likely from the same world as the heirs, but being that both siblings are hundreds if not thousands years old and the Sustainer if the first heir fought the primordial one in the first world, then this would make her older than them if she left before their journey. As for the brother, they likely left before him, making him younger than the first heir, but older than the siblings. If the Light Realm is anything like the Void Realm, then time operates differently. So it's even more possible the timeline for the siblings and Sinner are beyond the first heir since brainwashed and made a queen. I have to do the Abyss Order next. But that's all for now.
To say is that you fell here from another world? But when you wanted to leave and go on to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god?